This is Nightline.
Tonight, Playboys or predators? The explosive testimony from an alleged victim of the Alexander brothers, who says she was drugged and raped after a party at an A-list celebrity's place. The brothers, once famous for selling luxury real estate,
they partied in the Hamptons, they partied in Miami, they partied in Aspen.
Now at the center of a federal sex trafficking trial where they've denied all charges. Were they privileged and promiscuous or predators? Plus, Swan Song.
There's gonna be some blue lightning in Catfish Road.
We're with legendary mezzo-soprano Denyce Graves as she takes her final bow. The Grammy winner singing for president.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
And even duetting with Elmo.
It's time for you to go Betty Bye.
The surprising thing, she says she's denied herself for decades. She says she wants to try.
Maybe after I retire, maybe I'll see what all the fuss is about.
Maybe in your future.
And the lingerie stunt.
I'm gonna get caught at this rate.
Might have landed Sydney Sweeney in hot water.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. For years, the Alexander brothers were real estate power brokers, famous for spreading their wealth from New York to Miami and for their high-profile client list. Now, along with a third brother, they're standing trial, facing allegations of rape and sexual assault that could put them behind bars for the rest of their lives. The Alexander brothers appear to have it all, from luxury mansions to parties in the Hamptons to professional accolades. But this Manhattan courtroom is now the center of a far different reality. Twin brothers Oren and Alon, along with older brother Tal, now standing trial on federal sex trafficking charges and facing potentially life in prison if found guilty.
Alon, Tal, and Oren Alexander had a meteoric rise to both power and fame. But according to federal prosecutors, that power and fame hid a much darker side.
In opening arguments today, prosecutors saying the men used their power and prestige to conspire to rape and drug dozens of women, including at least one minor.
Each of the brothers wore civilian clothes. We had seen them in court previously in jail garb, but they were granted permission by the judge to wear suits, open collars, and they sat at the defense tables with their lawyers. And there are a lot of defense lawyers who are there to help try to convince the jury that these brothers may have been womanizers, but they were not sex traffickers.
Prosecutor Madison Smizer saying the men masqueraded as party boys when they were really predators.
Prosecutors allege that the Alexander brothers used drugs, alcohol, and at times brute force to force young girls as young as 17, as well as young women, to have sex with them and rape them against their will.
The first witness to take the stand, an alleged victim claiming she was drugged and raped by Alon after an NBA Finals watch party at actor Zac Efron's apartment in 2012.
She went, and there she said she had a couple of drinks. She even tried ecstasy for the first time, and then later the whole group went to a club where she said a drink was spiked, and the next thing she remembered, waking up in Alon Alexander's bed with him raping her.
All three men have pleaded not guilty and denied the allegations. ABC News reached out to Zac Efron and did not hear back. The Alexander brothers' defense team firing back in their opening argument, saying, while the men may have been promiscuous womanizers, they aren't criminals.
The defense, using crude language, saying that what occurred might make the jury cringe, but they're not here for the quote-unquote a-hole award.
Defense attorney Tenny Garrigo saying their behavior wasn't trafficking, it was dating and hooking up. Several members of the defense team have represented high-profile clients like Sean Combs.
But the defense is painting a very different story, one of buyer's remorse, something very similar to the Sean Combs trial, maybe because the defense is almost the exact same.
The Alexander brothers' arrest in December 2024 made national headlines.
Three major real estate moguls are facing federal charges for forced sex trafficking.
Arrested on federal sex trafficking charges, what authorities allege
Alon,
they did.
Oren, and Tal Alexander face charges in New York and Florida.
According to the indictment, federal prosecutors say the three men repeatedly and violently drugged and raped dozens of women, even allegedly filming some of the acts for well over a decade.
This conduct, as alleged, was heinous.
In court today, prosecutors say they intend to show a recording of Orrin Alexander's alleged rape of a then 17-year-old.
Prosecutors told the jury this video that they say shows the sexual assault of a then 17-year-old who will testify under the pseudonym Amelia. It's going to show that this woman blacked out and was incapable of saying no. The defense has a different characterization. They say the same video is also going to show that she willingly drank, took drugs, and put herself in a bad situation.
Orrin and his older brother Tal once touted themselves as superstar brokers in ultra-luxury deals at Douglas Elliman, the real estate company. In 2019, the Alexander team helped broker the sale of a nearly $240 million penthouse in this Manhattan building, at the time, the most expensive residential sale in U.S. history.
These guys lived a world of ultra luxury. Their clients were some of the richest and most well-known people in the country. And in order to work in that world, they also embodied that world. They partied in the Hamptons, they partied in Miami, they partied in Aspen. They really were living the embodiment of this luxury dream that was very much tied to the brand of real estate that they sold.
The brothers later formed their own real estate firm called Official.
Official is the only hyper-specialized residential brokerage in the market today, focused on the top end of the market.
Orrin's twin Alon worked as an executive in the family's company, Kent Security, in Miami. According to the indictment, the three brothers committed the alleged assaults, sometimes acting alone, sometimes with each other, and sometimes with other men, and allegedly physically restrained and held women down and ignored screams and explicit requests to stop.
The defendants allegedly used their wealth and status to recruit and pay for the travel of their intended victims.
The lurid allegations, a world apart from the life the Alexander family built for themselves.
Their parents, Shlomo and Orly, were immigrants from Israel. Their story is very much an American rags to riches story. Today, the family is multimillionaires.
In a statement to ABC News, the brothers' parents wrote in part, "We believe our sons are innocent, and if they are judged on the evidence presented at trial, free from speculation or public narrative, the truth will prevail. We ask only for a fair process, grounded in facts, where their voices can finally be heard." The parents, along with Alon's wife, there at court today, along with several other supporters. All three men are fathers, Orrin's wife giving birth since he was arrested.
There are a number of relatives were there. We heard them all speaking Hebrew with one another. So the brothers have a lot of support in court.
Prosecutors expected to call at least 7 alleged victims. Attorneys also telling jurors they would show them incriminating text messages from the brothers.
Prosecutors say that the jury will see evidence of the brothers' guilt. They'll see alleged text messages between the brothers supposedly cheering on or bragging about the rapes.
The defense arguing the women who will testify are motivated in part by money.
The defense says this case is either about regret, opportunism, or money. And the defense says all of the accusers have either filed civil lawsuits and are out for money, or encountered the brothers, had sex willingly, and came to regret it later.
There are currently dozens of civil lawsuits against the brothers. Orrin and Alon face a separate state case in Florida. The federal trial is expected to last a month. We'll, of course, continue to follow this trial as it proceeds. And now a look ahead at tomorrow's show. We're with childhood pals Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, teaming up again in a tense police drama. Why Ben says he's surprised they're still friends.
What really surprised me if all of a sudden Matt was like, "Things aren't going well for you, see you later."
And when we come back, we're with legendary mezzo-soprano Denyce Graves, stepping away from the stage after 4 decades. How she says she overcame challenges and despair to become one of the world's most revered operatic voices after the break. Welcome back. Denyce Graves, widely considered one of opera's finest voices, has taken her final bow. She sat down with ABC's Deborah Roberts to reflect on her trailblazing journey.
What? Ain't nobody gonna put on a heartbeat.
This is what going out on top sounds like.
Does you hear what I say?
Legendary mezzo-soprano Denyce Graves singing her final professional notes, fittingly as the strong-willed Mariah in Porgy and Bess.
There's gonna be some blue lightning and catfish rock when I get home.
40-plus years as a singer, as a world-renowned star, and now you're going to step back from the professional stage. Here, what does that feel like?
I'm grateful. I've had a beautiful life, and I've had a beautiful life in this incredible, unique opera house. There is no other place in the world that is like this. This is the peak of artistic accomplishment for any singer.
We caught up with her at the Metropolitan Opera House, where 3 decades ago, a then 31-year-old Denyce made her big debut in the iconic title role of Carmen.
You began in a big way here, and now you're sort of ending that professional life here.
And it feels right. The timing feels right to me. I have met some of the most important people in my life here. To sing on this stage where there's a convergence of the best of everything, the best of everything, the best singers in the world, worldwide, best directors, best designers, best conductors.
In her dressing room, before her final curtain,
Are you ready?
a moment of stillness. While in the theater, opera lovers file into their seats, awaiting a bit of history.
Why step back now when you still could probably do it a little bit longer?
I'm in my 6th decade. My body's different. I'm different. The timing is right now. I see that there are a lot of really wonderful, exciting new talents that are coming along. And I've had my turn. It's their turn. The lifestyle, that's a younger woman's game. It really is.
Now 61, Denyce's global success has been fueled by a relentless work ethic and personal sacrifice.
Give me a sense of what it is to prepare and to be ready and to deal with the ups and the downs and the setbacks.
If you're playing the clarinet, if something goes wrong, you can get a new clarinet. You got one set of vocal folds, and that's it.
That's your instrument.
That's the instrument. And so that means that you have to be conservative. That means that you have to protect that. That means that you have to watch the things that you eat, the way that you behave, the way that you speak. It means you have to stay away from things that cause it to be in stress. And so that's caffeine.
No coffee for you.
No coffee, absolutely not. But maybe after I retire, maybe I'll see what all the fuss is about.
Maybe in your future.
Denyce Graves' path to stardom, singing with greats like Pavarotti and Bocelli, didn't come easily.
What were the toughest times that you remember when you look back on growing up?
I think, first of all, just everyday survival was a great challenge.
In a tough neighborhood?
And a very, very, very tough neighborhood. There was a lot of despair, struggle, desperation, living in that and the behavior that can create.
She and her 2 siblings grew up in the southwest corner of Washington, D.C., raised by a fierce single mom.
She really taught us that we were special kids. She used to say, Denyce, God kissed your throat, and that I know that you all are going to go out and change this world and make this world different. And we believed that.
That little girl kept dreaming, attending the Duke Ellington School of the Arts before going on to study at Oberlin College, and then at the New England Conservatory of Music. Over the years, Denyce Graves captivating audiences throughout Europe and here at home, where she sang for presidents. Her mellifluous voice consoling the nation after September 11th. And even staged an opera with Elmo on Sesame Street.
Bring on a horse, bring on a pig, because in opera we like things big.
Her joyous career offering inspiration to so many, a Black woman rising to the top in a profession that she says didn't always embrace her.
How did you walk into that world, and how were you able to move forward in a world that wasn't that familiar with faces like yours in those days?
Right. Growing up in America in the 70s, where there were many things that I saw and felt, taught me early on that there are just some things you've got to choose your battles. And that my job, that my work is to stay focused, to be the best version that I can be on this day at that time. And I tell that to my young singers all the time. I said, you've got one job, and I don't want to hear any excuses. If you are great, no one can say anything.
The amazing thing about Miss Graves is that she's shattered so many people's preconceptions of what an opera singer would be, not only for opera fans, but for normal people like me, who had no idea that a person of color could reach the heights that she's reached.
Ryan Speedo Green owes his career dreams to Denyce.
My first operatic experience of my life was here at the Metropolitan Opera with Denyce Graves as the lead, as a title role. She's been a beacon of light and an inspiration and showing how you're supposed to carry yourself as an artist.
No song. Try that.
Now, after shining so brightly on the opera stage, this star focusing her light on the next generation. Her next act, the Denyce Graves Foundation, which will nurture and support new operatic voices.
You've given a lot. Your legacy is intact. And now you get to see what that brings.
And that fills me with such joy. There are a lot of my students that are on the stage in the ensemble. And when I look at their faces, I can't even believe it. Like my students who came into when they were young kids, and now I'm on the stage with them. It's incredible. I've worked my entire life for this career. I've given my whole life to this work. And it's been joyful work, and it's been beautiful work, and it's made my life so incredibly beautiful.
As her final performance draws to a close, the audience cheering one of the greatest as she takes her final bow.
And the rest of us incredibly blessed and grateful to have heard her amazing voice. Our thanks to Deborah. When we come back,
I'm gonna get caught at this rate.
Sydney Sweeney runs afoul of the law in Hollywood while Insta-posting. And what do all these bras have to do with it? And finally tonight, Sydney Sweeney's late-night underwear party, Hollywood style. The actress who ruffled feathers with her American Eagle ad campaign.
You see what I did there, right?
Courting controversy again after Insta-posting herself draping dozens of bras over the famous Hollywood sign.
I'm gonna get caught at this rate.
Staging what appears to be a publicity stunt to promote her new line of lingerie. Sweeney did not have permission to climb the landmark, which is tightly restricted, or to film commercially, and may now face trespassing and vandalism charges. And that's Nightline for this evening. Watch all of our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.